Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So today we're speed building a house called the California Casa, and much like my previous builds, this is another kind of like suburban themed build. I don't know why, but I'm just so into doing normal, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes again, normal speed builds. I don't know why, it's just something that I haven't done a lot of on my channel, and now that I've done a couple, I'm beginning to realize that there's a lot to explore with it. So, you know, I'm definitely really into doing suburban themed builds. So you guys are definitely going to have to expect to see a little bit more of it in the future. I have another really interesting one coming up really soon, but this build is actually pretty much inspired by my previous build, which was the suburban hacienda, in a sense that both builds have kind of like a Latin Mediterranean influence. This one though, I built specifically in mind for an American suburb, you know, California specifically because I watch a lot of YouTubers, and every time they would do like a house tour and stuff, this is literally like their house, you know. I will talk about that more a little bit later on. I do want to talk to you guys about some important things. So a couple of days ago, I went to the doctor and I had my voice checked again, because in case you guys didn't know, I had voice problems. It wasn't my microphone. A lot of people were commenting, oh, you should buy a new microphone because your voice sucks. No, it was not my microphone. It was my voice. I had voice problems. Basically, there's a lump in my vocal cords. Yes. So I went to the doctor. I actually went to a specialist a couple of days ago. She's pretty cool. She's been managing me for a while now. Anyway, the good news is it's really not that bad of a condition. So I'm so happy to tell you guys that I'm okay. You guys don't have to worry about, you know, me not being able to do YouTube or whatever, because my voice, there's basically no problem with it. There is a lump in my throat, which is, I don't know, it's caused by many things. Too much to explain, but basically, the doctor, she did her assessment and she was like, oh, you sound okay. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you know, you have to come back to me in like 3 months because I will do another procedure on you. So basically, at this point, it's too early to tell whether or not the lump in my throat is gone. I still feel a little bit hoarse in my throat sometimes. So she said, give it 3 months and we'll see if it's still there and stuff, because the procedure is kind of expensive. So, just to be sure, she was like, just take care of your voice and don't do this, don't do that, and, you know, limit yourself to talking moderately, because I have a tendency to talk so much, not just on YouTube, but I'm literally on my phone, I'm on my Skype, like I talk with my friends maybe 5 hours at a time. Our phone bills are like so expensive, but I love talking with my friends and just gossiping and all that stuff on my phone. Also, yeah, I can feel it in my face because, you know, my phone, I put it on my face and basically, you know, if it's there for 5 hours, you kind of have really, it gets really hot basically. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So back to the build. I just wanted to reassure you guys that I'm okay. So a lot of you guys have been kind of a little bit worried about that. So please relax and rest assured that I am seeing a doctor and I am okay. So like I said, this build is kind of inspired by my previous builds. However, I wanted to make it its own, if that makes any sense. I didn't want it to be like a literal replica of my previous build. And actually, initially, this build was supposed to look a lot different because this is actually the second time I am trying to build this, because the first time I built it, it turned out so similar to my previous builds that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna scrap this because it's just it's just too similar. So I'll go ahead and actually throw in some screenshots of the first attempt at this build somewhere in the screen, right there, boom and boom. And basically, as you guys can see, it is so freaking similar to my previous build. It's almost identical. So I decided to scrap that and just go for this one, which I actually really liked a lot more because it looks so normal. Can you guys see? Like, I used basically a lot of like beige stucco on the outside, which is actually the first time that I'm using it, and it made me realize how many houses in the world use that freaking color of wall paint for the outside. I'm like literally like maybe millions of homes. It looks so normal, and I'm actually really happy because that's kind of exactly what I was going for. I really wanted it to look so freaking normal. Hashtag relatable. Yeah, I really wanted it to look relatable, to be honest. So I'm so happy with how it turned out. So, and there's also a garage, by the way, for this one, which is something that I'm so into. Like, I hate myself for not making garages sooner because I feel like they add so much more depth and personality to the build. Because I think that society, the society that we live in right now, here goes the freaking rant. No, just kidding. But I think society judges you based on the car that you drive. You know, that's just an assumption for me, but I think that a lot of people look at your car and basically assess you if you're worthy or not. Do you guys agree or do you not? Because I mean, you know, like somebody who's driving a sloppy jalopy versus somebody who's driving like a freaking sports car, like, yeah. Anyway. Also, for the outside, I tried doing something interesting with the archway and the columns for the main door. It doesn't come across exactly how I wanted it to, but basically I wanted it to be like a 2-story archway, which once again, it's really common in like upper middle class or upper class homes, you know, like it would have 2-story archways for the main entrance, and I always see it in like Mediterranean, Floridian style homes and stuff, so I really wanted to have it. So there you go. I tried experimenting with it and I really like it, and it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to, but it turned out really interesting though. I've always wanted to do that in my builds, and I'm really happy that I was able to do it for this one. So yeah, right now we are now working on the kitchen, and I'm actually really happy with how the kitchen turned out. There is like a double door that leads from the driveway or the parking garage to the kitchen, which I feel like is also really normal. I did struggle a little bit with how the kitchen is going to look like, because initially I really went for this full-blown kind of Latin Spanish influence, you know, like I was like, okay, we need woods, we need Spanish stuff, you know, but in the end I did go for something that's a little bit more youthful and a little bit more modern. So I do get rid of those cabinets just because we're in California, and one thing that I associate with California is entertainment and media, and basically what I envisioned for this house is that the people who are living here work in entertainment, specifically in social media, which is kind of relevant because we have the freaking social media career that came with city living. So, you know, I think that you guys could kind of make like your own version of a YouTuber or something and maybe move them into this house. By the way, this house has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. There is also an extra room upstairs, which you can convert into another bedroom, but the extra room upstairs is actually kind of like a YouTube gamer filming space, which is quite fun to make. So right now the kitchen is not in its final form. We will be changing a lot of it. I felt like one thing that I noticed a lot about houses in California is that even though many houses have like a traditional looking outside, you know, it looks very Spanish, it looks very mission, when you actually go to the inside, it's like really modern, and that's probably just from the YouTubers that I watch, but I mean, I watch Shane Dawson, Joey Graceffa, Tyler Oakley. Does Tyler live in California? I'm not sure. Even PewDiePie, when he is in California, you know, he has like this house there and stuff that he always stays at. It looks really traditional from the outside, but on the inside, it's actually pretty modern. So even Ricky Dillon, who else? Connor Franta. Literally, this is just a name dropping video. Who else? Lisbug. Oh my gosh, I'm so depressed now. I was such you know, I shipped Shane and Lisa, but anyway, whatever. So yeah, we are changing the color scheme of the kitchen into something that's a little bit more youthful and modern. So basically the idea for the house is that it was built a couple of decades ago, but you know, so many people have moved in and out of it that it has been renovated so much, especially for the interior. That's why the interiors are a little bit more modern compared to the outside, which looks very, you know, it looks very mission, it looks very traditional. So yeah. I also love the fact that the furniture for the kitchen has red accents. I really like that, especially the appliances. The stove and the fridge are red, which is so hot, literally hot. And also I love the fact that there is a backsplash of those really nice bricks actually behind the kitchen counters. I think they also really complete the look, and I really like those bricks actually. They look really kind of urban, industrial thing, whatever. It looks really nice. So I'm really happy with the kitchen actually. It was a little bit tricky to furnish because of the shape of it. It was a little bit more longer, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And there's also like a nice little breakfast area over there in the bay window as well. So right now we are working on the dining room, and much like the kitchen, the dining room is actually red. You know, it has a predominantly red color scheme. Now, a lot of you guys don't know, but I'm actually currently studying architecture, and many years ago when I was just starting out, when I was just starting in college, one of our classes was called color rendering, and basically it teaches you how to, you know, color stuff, like do watercolor, oil pastels, markers and stuff, and digital coloring and stuff. And also it teaches you about color theory as well. And one thing that I learned from the color theory situation is that red is actually a very appetizing color. Surprise, surprise. That's why a lot of fast food companies like McDonald's and KFC all have red in their logo because it's very appetizing. So that's why I went with a red color scheme for the kitchen and for the dining room, because I felt like logically it was kind of like the right color scheme to have. And I'm just throwing in some random clutter here and there because I really liked throwing clutter, even though I am minimizing my use of the Move Objects sheet now, just because I feel like it's really hard for a lot of people to play in homes that use Move Objects sheet a lot. So I only use Move Objects sheet if I really want to place something like clutter items, especially on tables. I feel like we need more table slots or something, but whatever. So right now we're working on the living room, and another thing that I learned from my color theory is that blue is a very corporate color. It's a very respectable color, apparently. That's why many banks and many financial institutions have blue as a color scheme in their logo because it's apparently really respectable. I don't know. I think blue is a really calming color. That's why I like to use it in many of my builds. But for this living room, I actually tried to do something different and make an L-shaped sofa. You know, L-shaped sofas used to be a thing in previous Sims games where there are modular sofas. Actually, from The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, I believe both had modular sofas where you can basically make your own shape by connecting different pieces of sofas. But we don't have that in The Sims 4, but we do have move objects. So I used the move objects sheet to actually combine two sofas together, a sofa and a love seat, and they actually look really cohesive, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of glitches happening anywhere. So it actually looks really nice. Also, for the living room, I went for a more casual decoration scheme. So, you know, it's very kind of, it's almost like Bohemian Beach, you know, like, not really sure how to describe it, but it's very casual, it's very Bohemian-esque, and it's very beachy-esque, probably because of the color scheme. You know, it's very nautical. That's the word that I'm looking for. And there's also a lot of clutter, which makes it feel a lot more, it makes it feel a lot more casual. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just using the move object sheet and the control brackets key thing to place some items on top of those counter things, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I'm really spending a lot of time on the clutter actually, so yeah. And I will also throw in some chairs. I think I will change that chair into a green. There we go. A nice kind of like seafoam minty green color. Looks really nice. So for the main foyer slash entrance area, there's really nothing to it. Ooh, and I'm also trying to add like a curtain to this nice bay window. So yeah. And I also kind of like played a little bit with the furniture layout in the dining area. So looks like we're gonna be furnishing the foyer a little bit later on. So we are now working on the second level, which is where both bathrooms and bedrooms are located. You guys would also notice that I tried to have kind of like a more open staircase area, but the roofs were just glitching out. So I'm just like, okay, F this. I'm not gonna deal with this. There's too much stuff going on right now. Okay. And it actually turned out really well because I ended up with more space. So yeah. The bathrooms are unfortunate because they are on the smaller side, unfortunately. I love how I said unfortunate like twice. But yeah, the bathrooms are a little bit smaller, but I mean, if I was a YouTuber and I lived in this house, I would not spend any time in the bathroom unless I really needed to. I wouldn't even spend any time in the bedroom because there is a room specifically built for recordings and stuff. You know, like there is a room where if you were a YouTuber, you could actually just go and record your stuff. If you have guests and collabs, you know, you could record in that. There is basically, this house is for a gamer. You know, if I was a super famous YouTuber and if I lived in California, this is probably a house that I would love to have because of that room. But you know, if you guys wanted to do something different, like if you wanted to have maybe a detective sim or a doctor sim, you could change the gaming room into something different so that it would fit your Sims' personality and identity. So yeah. For the master bedroom, I went for a blue color scheme. And yeah, nothing too crazy, just blues and some accents of some dark wood. I think it looked really nice, and also some white furniture as well. Nothing too crazy. So yeah. Actually, I really wanted to talk about the whole YouTube situation. I know this is so irrelevant now because it happened such a long time ago, but I mentioned in my previous build that I've always wanted to talk about the whole PewDiePie situation, but I just didn't had much of a chance to talk about it because I keep forgetting it in my builds. But basically, there's a lot of controversy right now with PewDiePie, and it's so sad for me because whether you like PewDiePie or not, he is my inspiration, and he's one of the very first YouTubers that I subscribed to and that I watched because he just gave me so much entertainment. And it's so sad to see him be a victim of this whole, I don't really know what, this whole situation where many of his videos were used against him, and a lot of people actually believed in that kind of like propaganda thing. And I'm just like, is this really that bad? So basically, it's very controversial right now. I can still see in PewDiePie's channel how he's affected by it, because he still name drops like the people who tried to ruin him in his newer videos. And I'm just like, I'm super sad about the whole situation, and I'm just using this opportunity to talk to you guys and to hear what you guys have to say about it, because, you know, I'd love to, I'd love to hear your opinions. You know, PewDiePie is not perfect. I'm not saying he is. I feel like every time we say something on the internet, we should take responsibility for it, or at least be prepared to handle the consequences of it. But I feel like the way he was treated was so unfair, and I hope that we can all move on from this, and I hope that there will be justice, because so many people lost their jobs, so many people, you know, worked really hard, and they're just set aside in order to achieve this like negative publicity for PewDiePie, and it's super sad. So anyway, segue, we just furnished the 2 bathrooms, and I don't really do this often, but I put in a shower. How exciting is that? The other bathroom was too small, so I was like, okay, F this. There needs to be another full bathroom in this house, just because I feel like 2 per 2, it's a thing. Not really, but I felt like there needed to be an extra bathroom, so an extra full bathroom, so I did kind of cramp everything into that one room. So I had to use a shower. I prefer using a bathtub shower combo, but it just didn't fit in that one bathroom, so I don't even know why I'm talking about the bathroom still. But yeah, right now we're working on kind of like, I don't know what this is. It's kind of like the guest bedroom or whatever, or the kids' bedroom maybe, if, you know, the YouTuber who lives here has a sibling or has a child, you know, this could be another bedroom. There's so many computers, by the way, in this house, I'm just realizing. So yeah, anyway, you know, they can have their private computers and they can have their work computers, just like me. You know, I actually film on my desktop because it's just a more powerful computer, and everything else that I do on my laptop. You know, I do schoolwork, I do homework on my laptop, I do presentations on my laptop, I watch YouTube on my laptop, you know, hashtag multitasking. Anyway, so the guest bedroom has a predominantly green color scheme, and now we are moving on to the YouTuber den. That's what I'm gonna call it now, YouTuber den. So basically, when a bunch of social media people moved into this house, hashtag YouTubers, they decided to tear down one of the bedrooms and one of the bathrooms to make room for this room, which they're gonna use to film stuff on, which I really, really like the idea, because I feel like a lot of the really big YouTubers have their own space where they film. I know that Shane used to have like a place where he used to film. I'm not sure if he still goes there or whatever, but he definitely used to have a place where he used to film. Also, Captain Sparkles has a room in his like apartment. Felix, I don't know what's going on. He got kicked out of his apartment, so I don't know. But I do notice that he used to have a room in his apartment where he also filmed. So basically, this is just that. It has a predominantly, I feel like I just screamed at you guys. Anyway, it has a predominantly black and white color scheme, which is great because it's easy to match, you know, with what you're wearing. And also for the wall paneling, I decided to go for kind of like that industrial paneling that came with Get Together. It was the closest one I could find that looked almost like kind of like soundproof panels. I'm not sure what those are called, but the soundproof panels that kind of like stop the echo and stuff, like, you guys get what I mean. Every YouTuber has them except for me, so hashtag pitiful. Anyway, so there's a lot of really nice personal stuff in this. There's a magazine rack, which is quite fun. There is a console, there's a special computer which normally you would need to unlock, but for this situation, I just used a cheat to unlock it. It also looks like one of those Razer computers, and I'm not really that techie of a person. I don't really understand how they work, but I bet that my brother would die for a Razer computer. And my brother is actually a game designer. He just graduated, yay. And he's a game designer, so I should probably ask him for help and maybe develop our own Sims games, because I keep complaining about the Sims. Anyway, so I'm just trying to fit in a radio somewhere, because once again, you know, YouTuber, there's probably going to be a lot of parties or get-togethers and stuff. So, you know, I just wanted to have a space where there is an actual stereo for people to hang out and stuff. So there is one over here in the corner, just upstairs from the staircase. And yeah, nothing too crazy. Oh my gosh. One of you guys keeps commenting that in every one of my videos, I say the words, nothing too crazy. And I just said it. So whoever you are, make your presence felt. I feel like I'm having a seance right now. I'm not sure. Also, since I'm breaking the fourth wall here, I just want to thank everybody who commented in the last video, hashtag that bed is Vey. I did not think that people would actually comment, but thank you so much to everybody who commented. I really appreciate you guys paying attention throughout the whole video. And you know, if you're still around, please do me a favor and comment hashtag context matters. Okay, let me repeat. If you're still around, do me a favor, hashtag context matters. Please comment that. Comment that in the description below, because it's a relevant thing. PewDiePie, in case you guys don't understand, just watch his videos. Hashtag context matters. Super important. And I actually tweeted that. I stalked this one guy who tried to ruin PewDiePie, and I actually just tweeted like, oh, there's this guy who tried to have negative publicity for PewDiePie. Where is he on Twitter? And hashtag context matters. Something like that. I mean, I'm not sure. Just stalk my Twitter. I don't tweet. I never tweet. Just because my Twitter account is not linked in my personal social media. So if I need to use it, I will have to log out of my personal account. And it's such a hassle, so that's why I don't tweet often. But I do sync my Facebook posts with my Twitter and my other social media. So every time I post on Facebook, you know, usually it will be tweeted as well. So yeah. You guys don't have to comment the freaking context matters thing, but if you, I just want to hear you guys, and I just want to see who's still around. I think it's a great way for me to really get feedback from you guys, and also assess how much of my audience is still around towards like the later part of the video, because I initially assumed that not many people would be around, like maybe 1 or 2 people, but surprisingly there's a lot of people. So you know, having that information will help me improve my commentary to kind of make it more structured in a way where it'll be entertaining from the start to the end of the video. So, you know, it's just something that I like to keep my mind into, because I do work hard to improve my content, and you guys always know that. So your feedback and participation is greatly appreciated. Hashtag context matters. Anyway, so we are now working on the patio area, which has a portable bar, which on both sides of it there is kind of like a bush inside of a jar, which is really nice. I really liked it. Initially, I was gonna put the hot tub in the patio itself, but I decided to just have a more secluded private area for the hot tub, and I did test this out, and the Sims can get to that hot tub, so you guys don't have to worry about it. You know, I just wanted to have like a nice private corner for the hot tub, you know, like, and bring a little bit of life to this quiet corner of this garden. So yeah, nothing too oh my gosh, I should stop saying that. I'm so pissed. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You know, there's a hot tub and all that stuff. And this is what I was talking to you guys about. The type of car that you use is something that people judge you on, like, because hopefully this doesn't come across as racist or anything, but in my previous build, I put a pickup truck, which was, you know, kind of said a lot about the fact that my previous build was kind of like a Southern United States inspired kind of build, and somebody from the South actually validated me and said that literally every person that person knew had a truck. And hopefully I'm not making a mistake here, but you know, I assume that in California a lot of people would have automobiles, you know, maybe Priuses or sedans, I don't know, Avios, I don't know. But I mean, these types of cars are definitely ones that I see a lot of YouTubers drive. I mean, unless you're a pretty hotshot YouTuber and you just really want like a freaking badass truck of a car. But anyway, so yeah, I also watch a lot of Trisha Paytas. I love Trisha Paytas. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did not mention her. Literally, train. Hashtag train. No, hashtag context matters. Anyway, since this is a very social media heavy commentary, I felt like hashtagging stuff is so relevant. That's just me validating myself and justifying what I'm doing right now. So yeah. Anyway, for the landscaping, once again, I just kept it really simple. Nothing too elaborate. You see what I did there? And also kind of making it look kind of California, Mexico-ish with some, you know, some desert-themed plants and cacti and all that stuff. So yeah. I also used a lot of smaller trees for this build because, I didn't want the trees to overwhelm the house, but unfortunately, there's not much left with the landscaping because unfortunately I lost the rest of the footage of the landscaping, and that's me discovering that there is actually a garage door in the game, and I'm just like, okay, when can we have an actual garage, please? But yeah, I lost the rest of the footage, so pretty much the end of the landscaping, I wasn't able to film it, unfortunately, but nothing, you guys didn't miss out on a lot. So yeah, it's you know, it's nothing too important. But yeah, it looks like that is going to be it for the speed build. Let's go ahead and cut into the screenshots of the floor plan so you guys can see how this build works. But having said that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. Okay guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video, and once again, please do me a favor and comment hashtag context matters if you made it all the way to the end of the video. If you did, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And yeah, like I said, that is going to be it for the speed builds. Once again, please don't forget to hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button if you guys had fun watching this video, because it really helps out the channel a lot, okay? You all have an awesome day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.